Hello and welcome to HAZMAT, the only show that's doing one more. We're just doing one more. That's it.
One more until the next one.
Until the next one.
Until the next one.
My name's Matt.
And I'm Harry.
And today we're reviewing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Which I still am not overly keen on the title.
Yeah, the title's a bit odd. I think the word dial is just like, I don't know.
I think it's the alliteration. None of the others had alliteration.
That's true, actually, yeah.
It just seemed kind of forced.
Well, you're forgetting the Raiders of the Lost Rock.
Oh yeah, and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Let's dive a little bit into how this movie goes. Obviously, we'll try to avoid spoiler territory for now. But in terms of like how this movie goes, how it's structured, a lot better than the last one.
Yeah.
It leans more towards the sci-fi in the way that Crystal Skull did, but it's not like it doesn't come off as overly ridiculous as the whole Alien.
Yeah, it felt like
did.
It felt more like of the Earth, like a natural phenomenon than like, whereas the Aliens was, oh, it's just a spaceship.
Well, that's because I think it's kind of like punched in a whole bunch with Mads Mikkelsen's character saying that it's all about mathematics.
So Indy's kind of back. He's drawn into kind of one last mission.
Yeah, like
he thinks his adventuring days are kind of over and done with.
Reluctantly.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole sequence where we get CGI
weird
young Harrison Ford,
uncanny face, young Harrison Ford.
Yeah. It kind of worked. There's certain moments where he sort of moves and it looks a bit odd.
It's kind of weird to look at.
Yeah. But I thought they did it kind of as well as you can do that kind of thing.
I think, part of the issue is the way it sounds, in that, like, it looks about as good as it could, but there's no adjustment or anything done to Harrison Ford's voice. So it's like grizzled old man Harrison Ford's voice coming out of young Harrison Ford's mouth.
But soon we're to old man Indiana.
And this is the 60s?
Yeah, so 69, because it was the moon landing.
The moon landing, yes, yeah.
So that's how they did it this time. They didn't come up with... The rest of them have had the date on the screen.
It tells you.
This one didn't do that.
It gives you context clues, which I think is pretty cool.
Enough events, and like, the Beatles were playing. So it all adds up. Our hero is just an old man, snoring, complaining about the neighbours.
He's like, because they did the joke in the last one about like how Shia LaBeouf questions like, you're a teacher, and he's like part-time.
Yeah.
Now he's like full-time
he's
teacher.
Just full-time teacher.
He's not doing the...
His adventuring days are over for now. And you point out that like his class isn't like in love with him anymore.
I think part of the appeal of him was the mysterious adventurer side, and now he's kind of lost that, and he's purely just the teacher.
He's like just kind of a boring professor to these people.
And now what once was is kind of just... lost its luster.
Yeah. Now instead of closing their eyes to say love you, they're now just closing their eyes
to sleep,
just to fall asleep.
We get a new character introduced sort of quite early on, and it goes to show it doesn't lean too heavily into like the nostalgia bait kind of route. There are some nice little nods here and there, but
some cool references to past stuff, but it is a lot of just a new...
It gives us a slightly new cast. And
that is cool. That they could have very easily gone way more down the nostalgia road.
Yeah.
But it's cool that it's just a new separate adventure. Like that's what makes it feel like an Indiana Jones film to me. That's what I found with us going through them all, is each one is so different because he has like a different cast of characters around him in each one, basically.
I really appreciated it about this one. They kind of leveled it out a bit more, not to go like the route of having it be a pun, but they dialed things back. From the last one, they didn't have the things we pointed out were overly silly, like Shia LaBeouf swinging around in the trees with the monkeys. They didn't have the big UFO.
Yeah, Crystal Skull felt like, we have good effects now. We're going to try new stuff. Like, it doesn't have to all be physical anymore. So they went like overboard with it.
Yeah, they just
whereas
went
now like
over the top.
It was back to being a bit more grounded. You couldn't see the choreography as much this time. Like in Crystal Skull, there were those moments where it was like...
It's like big kung fu action.
Whereas,
we're hitting our steps.
Yeah. But it was back to just being more like chaotic.
Yeah, it's interesting how like we say it's more grounded, but it's like it's still over the top enough to be an Indiana Jones adventure. There's still enough like chaotic energy flowing throughout. And
I think they do the comedy quite well as well. That's something that's been constant throughout them all, is like they're all like funny.
In terms of sort of the story and the whole filmmaking style, with this one. I didn't like pick up the overly kind of like Disneyfied. I think Indiana Jones has stayed pretty consistent with its movies, in that there's a certain way, there's a certain feel to like Disney produced movies now. You kind of like refer to it as the Marvel effect, where everything is kind of trying to capture that lightning in a bottle again. You notice it with like the new Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a whole thing now of a lot of scripts are written to have lines that can be GIFs or reaction memes or whatever. It didn't feel like there wasn't much of that in this. Like, it felt like they were trying to stay true to
the way it's
the
supposed
style
to be
of the older ones. Yeah. It was definitely like an Indiana Jones film. Like, it didn't feel like they were trying too hard to do anything else.
You know the kind of ride that you're in for, and as long as they deliver it well, then you'll come out happy. And I think people will be a lot happy with this one as opposed to Crystal Skull.
I think so. I think it was a better send-off for him than Crystal Skull would have been if that was the last one.
If they had done that,
because obviously that was kind of the intention for that one. It was a bit of a send-off, a bit of a passing of the torch they were trying to do, whereas this felt like a better ending. Like, I'm glad they made it. You know, a lot of people are very cynical about it, being like, why are they doing another? Like, isn't he like 100 now? How is he going to do any of this stuff? But I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, they worked around it well.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time now. If anyone hasn't seen Dial of Destiny yet, take a note.
Get out of here.
Take a note of where we're stopping now, because we might get into a bit more into depth and stuff that could be considered spoilerish. So if you don't want to be spoiled for anything, then go and see the movie. Come back from this point, because we're going to talk about some of that stuff now.
Welcome back. Did you like it?
Did you like the movie?
Let us know.
I like the movie.
We're going to let you know now. So we sort of mentioned it's a bit sci-fi again.
Yes.
Time travel. It could have been so stupid doing time travel. Like, it's in the same realm of Aliens, where it's so sci-fi, it's a bit ridiculous, it's been done so many times. It could have been like way too much. But like, honestly, I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I like it. It was kind of grounded in how it all uses maths and like formula to predict like temporal rifts in time.
Yeah, it was an interesting way to do it. Again, steeped in like history. I think that was it, as well as it was going into more actual solid like history. You know, Archimedes is a historical figure. Like, he really did.
He's been recorded throughout
invent
time.
These things and stuff. Yeah. So I thought that was a cool way to go with it, I think.
And I think it was a nice little touch as well that when we get to the purpose, we finally find out the purpose of the dial is that it's not sort of a device to help you calculate when and where you can travel to specific points. It was only ever designed to take you to one specific point in time. And
back to Archimedes.
During I can't remember what they called the battle. It was like
during the Battle of Syracuse in Sicily. I think it was. Yeah.
It was like the dial was created as like a cry for help throughout time, which is a really interesting concept.
Yeah,
that someone far in the future will find this and come back and change the outcome of whatever's happening here.
Yeah, what a mad concept. How did he know that? Little Archimedes, how did he do that?
He's a brilliant mathematician, brilliant scientist.
I sometimes think about that with like these old, you know, like Da Vinci and all these inventors. Like, how the hell did they figure that out?
How did anyone come up with
like,
this?
They didn't have like the internet. They couldn't just Google it. How the hell did they know? Anyway,
cool to see like a completely different time in which we're used to, because like the earliest we've ever gone back is the 1930s. We're going back even further than that.
Yeah, it was fun to place him into this era that he's like so heavily researched, and just like history in general. It's that's been such a big part of his life as an archaeology professor. It was cool to see like Indiana's reaction,
like his to actually to see it firsthand.
Like I genuinely got like a little bit choked up for him. I was like, damn, he's seeing it. Like this thing he's like dreamt about and imagined and researched,
put his whole life behind.
Yeah. And it turns out like he was meant to be there the whole time as well. Like it's not. It was like fate.
That's why it's the Dial of Destiny.
There you go, folks.
We got it.
Oh my god, I get it now.
I finally understand
That's why
it's
they called that.
But yeah, we talked a little bit about them not leaning too heavily into the nostalgia factor. Of course, we get some familiar faces returning, specifically John Rhys Davis.
Oh, what a great moment when he
coming
arrived
back for a little cameo.
Yeah, and then we get Sweet Marion at the end.
Marion.
I knew she was going to come at some point because she was mentioned so much. I was like, they can't not have her at
there
this
was
point.
there's this kind of inner conflict that was unresolved with him that revolved around the relationship with him and Marion.
Yeah, it establishes very quickly that they're going through a divorce because Shia LaBeouf died.
Shia LaBeouf dies quietly off screen, and we just move on.
So yeah, he died. Yeah, he died. By the way,
They knew he was trouble, and so they were just like, let's kill him off. We don't need him no more.
They should have done like, oh my god, is your son dead, isn't he? No, he's just dead to me.
Yeah, and then we talked about some of the new faces as well. We had
Phoebe Waller-Bridge,
revealed
to be Indy's goddaughter.
Yeah, and daughter of Baz Shaw, played by Toby Jones.
And we had Mads Mikkelsen as the
villain, and
just a great villain actor.
Crazy that they were once again in the 1960s able to make Nazis the main villain of
they
the piece.
Somehow brought Nazis back as well. Literally, we've said in Crystal Skull, there's maybe one little group that are still active, even though Hitler's lost.
Yes.
This was literally that.
That was like the Splinter group.
They were literally we're gonna go back
and change the outcome of the war.
Yeah, they did it well.
Well, they had to do it because of the intermittent thing.
The what?
The intermittency.
They have Nazis, no Nazis.
Nazis, no Nazis, Nazis, no Nazis. And it's the same with John Rhys Davies. Salah, no Salah, Salah, no Salah.
Oh my god, you're
Salah.
right.
You don't think.
Hold on a second.
You don't think.
John!
Hetty as well.
Kind of short round surrogate of the film.
Short round 2.
Kind of the short round 2 Helena.
Yes.
A fun little duo.
Yeah, and it's been established that she knows her history.
And her arc is that she was in it for the money, but by the end was in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, a bit of development going from like selfishness to having like a better purpose for doing it.
And Teddy's development was that he can fly a plane now.
Of course, the most important cameo, handsome man himself, Antonio Banderas,
who I was confused at the way they introed him, because the way they constructed it was that he was a returning character.
I think it's because specifically the expression "an old friend."
Yeah, an old friend, and the way they zoomed into him when we arrived. But I guess the reveal was just, Antonio Banderas.
It's Antonio Banderas, like it's a big deal.
But like,
because it's him.
I was racking my brains to like, when did we see Antonio Banderas in another film? I don't remember that. But yeah, it turns out he's just a new guy. We were just supposed to be like, that's Zorro.
That's Puss in Boots.
Yeah, so like, I don't know if it's just the recency of having watched this after we've gone through all the others in such a short amount of time, but like, I don't know, I just liked it a lot.
I think a lot of people who haven't sort of revisited the old ones and are just kind of going into this one, having seen the other ones, but like not having it fresh in their minds, probably won't enjoy it as much. But like, I think it still stands as like a solid movie on its own right.
Like we say, it's a nice wrap up. It's a better wrap up than Crystal Skull would have been.
This one does a good job of giving us just a happy ending. Nice
little epilogue for our favourite archaeologist / adventurer.
The only minus, no short round.
No short round. What was that about? Disney?
You have a lot to answer for that one.
Answer us.
So to sum it up, score out of 10.
I'm going to give it like 7.5. I
was kind of also same wavelength. I was floating between the 7-8.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 7.5.
I think that's a fair verdict. 7.5 is a strong. We can agree on that.
Yeah, 7.5 for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
So a thumbs up, a recommendation from us on this one.
Thank you for watching HAZMAT. No, we didn't watch anything actually. Thank you for watching HAZMAT reviewing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
If you enjoyed watching this review and you'd like to support the channel, then you can hit subscribe. You can click on the notification bell, and that will alert you to our more recent uploads. You can leave a like or a comment, and we also have a playlist where we've watched all the other Indiana Jones movies for you to enjoy. And of course, all of our socials will be listed down in the description and on the end card.
And join us next time, where we take out the whip and we just start whipping, baby.
And we're looking around everywhere to find out where the hell Short Round's gone.
Where is he, Disney?
Where is he?
Tell us!
Tell us now!